Hey everybody, today we are going to be talking about mobility training, what it is and why it is important. You will notice it is not me in these GIFs, all right? So Miss Egan was nice enough to make all these GIFs because her mobility is way better than mine, all right, as you guys will see. So first we need to know what mobility is. So you've probably heard of flexibility, you've probably heard of mobility, you've probably heard of stability, okay? But what is it? So it's your ability to move a muscle and joint through a full range of motion on your own. Okay, no props, no hands, no resistance, anything like that. Okay, you are moving your body on your own. Okay, so we're taking flexibility, we're taking strength, we're taking stability, adding them together, and that's what's going to give us mobility. So, why do we care? Okay, why is mobility important? So, it decreases our chance of injury. So, it improves your muscle's ability to move further in a movement and decreases the chance of a pulled muscle or a sprained joint. Okay, and then it also improves the athletic ability. Okay, so your body can get into critical positions that you need when you're working out, when you're playing sports, whatever it is. So, the better your body can move on its own, the more range of motion you have, the less likely you are to get hurt, the more athletic you're going to be if your body can perform in those advanced positions. So we think about flexibility is not the same as mobility. Okay, so you might be really, really flexible, but that doesn't necessarily you're really mobile. Okay, you might not have that stability piece, you might not have that strength piece, even though you are a flexible person. When we think about flexibility, we want to think about it being passive. Okay, so as we see this guy here, he is holding his knee in that position and probably stretching out his glute. Okay, but down here, we think about mobility. If she's doing high knees, she is moving her leg through the same range of motion, but she's not holding it there. She's continuing to move it. She's doing it on her own without a prop, without her hands to hold it there. Okay, so flexibility, more or less, maybe think of it in the terms of just stretching. Okay, we're just holding it there. And mobility is when we are moving it on our own through that range of motion. Okay, so to have mobility, again, you must have flexibility, you must have strength, and you must have stability. So now it's going to be your turn to practice it. All right. I promise after you do these couple exercises, your hips are going to feel more loose. Okay. Your shoulders are going to feel more loose. You are going to be better. So if you just need a brain break in your day, this is going to be perfect for you. So, first things first, we're going to start with a deep squat. So we'll probably do this in class. Okay. So just something to get good at. So when we do our deep squat, we want our feet flat on the floor. And as you squat down, notice her heels are still on the ground. So a lot of us, when we go to squat, we go up onto our toes, which is not what we want to do. So you might have to spread your feet out a little bit wider in order to keep those feet flat on the floor and trying to sit down in it. Once you get in that position, you're going to push your elbows out onto your knees and try to keep that chest up, eyes up. All right, you're just going to hold that for 5 to 10 seconds, stand up, shake it out, and do it a couple more times. You'll really be able to feel your hips loosening up after doing that. Next one is going to be your runner's lunge with T-spine rotation. So you get in a high plank position and you're going to step up outside of your hand. So notice she's about to bring her left foot up outside of her hand. She brings it all the way up, and her foot is flat. She turns and rotates towards her leg and then rotates away. Okay, so when you rotate towards your leg, it's going to be a little bit easier than rotating away. You're really going to be able to see how mobile you are when you go to rotate towards and away from your leg. So go ahead, do a couple each side. Our next one's going to be our reverse tabletop with extension. So some of you may think of it as a crab walk position. Okay, fingers are pointing back, feet flat on the ground again. Your hips are going to sink down towards the ground, and then you're going to push those hips towards the ceiling as you reach across with your arm. Okay, so trying to make that spine as long as possible and reach towards the other side of your body. Next one's going to be a plank to a pike. So a couple things to note here. Her hands and her feet are like glued to the floor. Okay, she's not walking them back. The only thing that's changing here is her shifting her body weight. So from a high plank position, she's pushing her head and her shoulders through her arms to push her booty into the air. Okay, so a lot of people start walking their hands towards their feet to get into this position, which you do not need to do. Okay, so glue those feet, glue your hands to the ground, and you're just shifting your body weight back and forth. If you need to, you can bend your legs on the pike in order to get your booty a little bit higher. All right, couple more here. This is my least favorite because my shoulders are not very mobile. So you are going to deep squat like we did in the first exercise. And if you don't have a weight, that's okay. You're just going to reach your hand up straight overhead. Notice how her spine is in a neutral position and her arm is behind her ear without twisting her body in some crazy movement. Okay, so a lot of us are going to put our arm up and it's not going to be behind our ear. That's where we want to be. So as we get more mobile, we're going to be able to be in that neutral position and our arm is going to be able to reach straight overhead. Here we go. Forward fold pulses. So if you have great flexibility, you're going to be able to put your palms on the floor. If you don't have great flexibility, I would probably start with your hands on your shins or even hands on your thighs. All right. So again, notice her feet are glued to the ground. All she's moving here is her knees, really. She's just bending her legs. So think about bending those legs forward and then pushing those legs back. All right. And our last one here is going to be our alternating Cossack squat. Your toes are going to point straight ahead. As you drop your hips to the right, your left toe will come to the ceiling. All right, so whichever side you are not lunging on, that toe is going to face the ceiling.